It is June 28th, 2015. We're at the home of Ernie and Helen Gales in St. Joseph, Iowa. And Helen is here to deliver a little message with support from her husband.
Okay, my name is Helen Borman Gales, and I was born March 31st, 1928. And my parents were Mike and Minnie Borman, and I was born and grew up on the farm several miles northeast of St. Joe. I married Ernie Gales on February 19th, 1952 at St. Joe, and we've lived our entire lives in the St. Joe community. In 2001, we moved into St. Joe, retired from the farm, and we lived just sort of like a block north of the Catholic Church in St. Joe. We have daily mass, and we always go to that. And we had 9 children and 20 grandchildren, and now 5 great-grandchildren have joined the family too. So I guess I'll get on with...
Yeah, that's a snapshot of where you came from. And now what you're going to try to do today is to give us a little bit of an idea of what lessons you learned over the course of your life, how you've tried to conduct your life, some different things that may have influenced you. And you're certainly welcome to give us whatever details you think might be appropriate for those who have an opportunity to watch this video sometime in the future.
Okay, the main things I'll bring up will be faith, family, community, and then our hope for the future. Faith was the main foundation of my life through the years. Growing up in a farm community really lets one see many parallels with the church teachings. For instance, this quote from the Bible, "To everything there is a season and a purpose under heaven." And we learn the value of hard work and how you can see rewards season after season. And you may think that you have everything that you need, but without a strong belief in God, what do you really have? I would go on to family. My earliest memories are all of the good times we would get together with our relatives. And I think a lot of my younger years were just used to play with my sister Marguerite and with some of our cousins too.
Now, your brothers were quite a bit older than you were?
Yeah. Irwin was born in 1919 and Clarence in 1921 and Harold in 1923. And then I came along in 1928 and my sister in 1930.
So really those 3 started to work with your dad in the fields out on the farm right away.
Right.
And you 2 were more of pick up things with your mom and be there to support in any way you could.
Learn how to cook and can and keep house and things like that. Education has been always very important to us. When we were young, we were taught by the sisters at the Catholic school here in St. Joe through 12 years. And we learned lots of valuable lessons in academics and how to live our lives. Even after graduating, I worked in the school hot lunch program and got to attend Mass almost daily and benefit under the leadership of Father Theobald, who was our pastor at that time. All of you have a common bond through your ancestry and the way in which you were brought up. Our children benefited from regular interaction with their grandparents. Many of our children and grandchildren now live far away. I really love them all, but miss the chance to see them more frequently. I try to send a card to anyone who's having a special occasion or is not feeling well. Then we go on to community. Ernie and I have both spent our entire life in the St. Joe parish. And the people here are mostly of Luxembourgish and German ancestry. We're always ready to work together with regular things in the parish, like coffee and rolls, and special causes, like when we had the centennial celebration of our parish, and we helped produce the Brown Parish book there that you see. It's the history of St. Joe Parish. And through all these things, we learned the value of working together. I can remember the threshing crew that would gather in the summer. Several families would own the machine and then go from farm to farm. The women and girls would make the biggest meal of the year for this event. And good neighbor deeds would bring a large group together to help someone that may be sick, injured, or suffered a unique disaster like a fire or a tornado. World War II was a big part of my early life. We went through rationing and lots of young men going off to war. Of course, losing my brother Irvin in 1944 was a defining moment in my life. And it helped us to understand the cost of freedom and really got an understanding of how large the world is.
Really, up till that time, you'd hardly been away from home.
That's true. Any of us, really. He either.
So, like you would say, you had gone to Chicago when you were quite young, but other than that, you probably never hardly went anywhere.
No, we never went on trips anywhere.
And Dad, did you go visit the Minnesota cousins ever?
A few times.
But I mean, other than that, you guys hardly got out of the county, I would hardly think.
That's right. So now we talk about hope for the future. The world is a big place with lots of different types of people. But still, the golden rule is doing unto others as you would have them do to you. It's as meaningful now as ever, and it will always be in the future too. Make sure that you take every opportunity to assist others, learn about the teachings of Jesus, and get involved with your local parish community. Education, careers, and family are all very important, but they can all fall without a strong foundation. Remember, even if things seem unbearable, that your faith in God will give you the strength to meet any challenges. So
Amen.
Okay, well, I mean, that was a good script there, so I think you went through that very nicely. I think one of the things that we talked about before we went on tape here a little bit was the Depression and how that was very important to your lives. You talked about World War II and Irvin's loss being defining moments, but really you've spent your lives in a very cost-conscious fashion. I think a lot of that came from the Depression. I don't know if you want to talk about that for a second.
Well, I hardly remember anything about the Depression. I don't think our folks talked about it very much, or I know they were careful in their spending, and you probably know more than I do. But I know it was really hard for a lot of the people around here.
So not only there wasn't a lot of disposable income to spend on anything, but even today you look around at all the modern appliances in the home. You didn't have any refrigerators or freezers. You didn't have computers, the type of television entertainment. There was nothing like that, so you kind of had to make your own fun.
No electric or gas stoves or anything like that. So that would be another big story. All the way I used to do things the hard way.
Well, the hard way probably taught you a lot of good lessons, you'd say.
I'm sure, yeah.
I mean, you could definitely see the rewards for what you put into something.
Yeah.
All right, we'll sign off here on June the 28th, 2015. And, hope everyone all the best in the future.
Yeah, goodbye for now.